welcome to BFS Wargaming. So we are back with Sam talking through the Deathwatch supplement for the third episode. This time we're going to talk through the secondaries and we're going to talk through the units. So take us away on the Deathwatch secondaries, Sam.
The secondaries. Now, these are like the weakest part of the book, in my opinion. None of these are great.
Unless you're playing Z.
Yeah, there's one in there which is semi-good against Xenos. So, first thing I would like to point out is, now that I've read this book, is you could technically, this book says if your army has the Deathwatch keyword, you can take one from here.
Yeah.
And with the Astartes ones, they are Astartes based. So you could technically take one from your Astartes book and then one from this list.
Yeah, I agree. The way it's worded, you definitely can. I think that's actually really wrong. And the reason I think that's wrong is because for the likes of Necrons, for the likes of, Orcs, we only get one book, So that means that if you're playing Space Marines, so if you've got a White Scars, I mean, at the moment, White Scars haven't got a supplement, but for instance, Space Wolves and Deathwatch at the moment, Blood Angels and Dark Angels getting theirs. They're all going to be able to choose two secondaries that aren't in the main secondaries. And then you're suddenly getting a bigger advantage. And that's what I don't like. It's fine if everyone can choose one secondary from one book extra and then two from the main book.
100% agree. 100% agree. Maybe they overlap in the same choices, but it doesn't feel right. But the wording is
either way, really, as well. Because I mean, at the moment, it is like I don't think you can argue the fact that you can take both, but I think it should be FAQ to say you can't. But we'll see.
Yeah, I do agree. I'm going to abuse it while I can.
Yeah.
Not that I can play much at the moment. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of mitigated by the fact that these are all a bit naff.
Right. So what we got?
So Battlefield Supremacy, the Long Vigil.
Yeah.
Now this one, first time I read it, I was like, oh, that's really good. You get 5 points really easily. So score 5 victory points at the start of your command phase. If there are no enemy units within 6 of your deployment zone, and there is at least one Deathwatch unit, excluding flyers, wholly within your deployment zone, you cannot score the secondary in the first battle round. So if you can keep your opponent in their half of the board, or you're playing against Tau, an army that doesn't want to come forward, could get really bit in the ass by this secondary.
Yeah. I mean, because the fact you only have to get within 6 inches, you just have to have one unit within 6 inches of your.
Yeah, I think it's one model. If you get one model like partially within my 6 of my deployment zone.
Yeah, I mean, and if you know someone's taking that secondary, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah, so could be good. Could be
turn or at the beginning of your command phase.
It's in your command phase.
Oh yeah, so it's even worse because at least you could eradicate everything out of that and then score it at the end of your turn. But if you've got to score at the end of your command phase, you've got to wait, and that person's just going to keep moving up.
Yeah, you could try. If you go first and try and pin your opponent back, you might get it once or twice. So
yeah.
It is a thing that if you get it twice, that's 10 victory points. So it does rack up quickly, but it's not a go-to. So then we've got another one. Purge the enemy. Color order, it's called. So what this is between me and my opponent, we pick 3 unit types or battlefield roles from my opponent's list, starting with my opponent.
Yeah.
So you go, you pick troops. I go, I pick Lords of War. You go, you pick heavy. At the end of the battle, for each one that I've completely eradicated, that's no longer on the table, I get 5 victory points.
That could be quite nice.
I don't like it purely because your opponent gets to pick 2.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but there's some armies that like. Yeah, I know what you're saying because I suppose if it was me, one of them's going to be HQ, and then I'll just try and protect that HQ.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think it still is, depending on what list you go up against, it still is, because if you go up against Knights, you pick Lord of War, they pick Lord of War, you pick Lord of War, they pick Lord of War.
Yeah, so what it is...
You've got to kill all of those Knights, though.
No, you pick until you can't pick anymore. So if I picked it against Knights and they've only got Lord of Wars, I could only ever get 5 points from it.
Oh, okay. So, yes, that's
by
not.
tabling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it has to be a different one each time. So
Yeah.
it's a high reward one because again it's 5 victory points for each one. So if you do pull off 2, that's 10 VP.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot. They're very difficult to achieve, but they're high reward.
Yeah.
So the next one is Shadow Operations. So we've got an action-based one called Cripple Stronghold. So after we've set up, you pick an objective on the battlefield. If there's 1 in your deployment zone or 2 in your deployment zone, you have to choose between them. This is your opponent chooses an objective on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So if there's one in your deployment zone, you have to choose that one. I then gain the ability to do an action, which is Deathwatch infantry models can do this action. Deathwatch infantry units. So technically a character could do it. And I do this action, end of my movement phase, and it completes at the end of my command phase.
Yeah.
Start of my next command phase, sorry. If I complete it, I get 6 victory points. So what I need to do is basically get onto an objective in your deployment zone and do this action for a whole round. First time I read it, I was just like, that's really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like if you're pulling that off, you've basically just wrecked your opponent.
Yeah.
Especially because your opponent gets to pick the objective.
If you put it off, your opponent's in dire trouble unless he's just pushed up so hard. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe it'll be okay in certain things. Like maybe if you're playing Gene Stealer Cult, but then even then Gene Stealer Cult will just drop back in their deployment zone and kill you.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah, how many points is it?
6 victory points if you complete it, though.
Yeah, so I suppose if you were going for it, like if you thought, okay, I could score this in the last 2 rounds and get 12 victory points.
I mean, one way I'm thinking of it is like round 2, I drop a Terminate captain with the Beacon and Jealous onto the objective, drop a unit with him to shield him.
Yeah.
And then use like Mantle of Shadow, Psychic Power, to shield that unit. So they have to be the closest to be the target. Then I've got a double shield going up, pull it off with the Terminator, and then in my next turn, I can beacon the unit over to carry on shielding the Terminator and do it a second time.
If you take that secondary against me, I'm always going to have people on that objective.
Yeah, you're just going to put 1 infiltrator on that objective and good luck.
Yeah.
So,
that's okay. So what's up next?
The last one is No Mercy, No Respite. It's called Suffer Not the Alien. Now, this one's the easiest to achieve of all of them. Each score a victory point at the end of the battle for each Tyranid, Eldari, Necron, or Tau Empire unit that was completely destroyed by a Deathwatch unit during the battle.
Yeah, and this is really good. I mean, depending on who you're playing, it's really good if you're playing Xenos. Obviously, it's really bad if you're playing other Imperium armies because or Chaos. But it's really good. Like when I first read it, I thought it's just like an automatic. You know, what I mean, how many points? But then I realised I took a list against Sam, and he was like, "So you've only got 13 units, but 13 units is 13 points is still pretty good for a secondary. If you were thinking I can get 13 points, but you'd have to table me to get 13."
Yeah, so it's an easy to achieve, but it's a low reward objective.
Yeah, I mean, however, I'd assume you're probably going to get somewhere in the region of 8 to 12 as a.
Depends on the Xenos army you're playing against. If you're playing against Tau and you start going, oh, well, you got 2-man unit drones, 2-man unit drones, 2-man unit drones, drones. Gene Stealer Cult, oh, you've got 9 troops choices, blat.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
but then there's
if you're playing Tau with, like, mind you, even if you're playing Tau with 3 Riptides, they probably can have a lot of drones there. So
yeah, I say thinking about it, so like Tau, you've got the drones. Tyranids, all of their monsters split in, all they deploy as broods and then split. So like Carnifexes. Like Tyranids was probably less. Gene Stealer Cult you'll get a lot of.
Eldar, you have quite a few.
Yeah, Eldar you get quite a few because they have quite a lot of supporting characters.
Yeah, and like Ari have a lot of different units usually.
So yeah, you might be able to rack up a decent amount of points. The only one I think you're going to struggle with there is like Necrons. because they don't generally have like lots of small units. Like Crypto Thralls is the only one you've got a really small unit of.
True, but you'd usually still have 10 units to say in an army, but then it's like you've got to table them to get the 10 points. That's the thing.
So yeah, secondaries I'm not overly sold on.
But
if I'm playing Xenos, I'm going to take
choices. So now we're going to go through the units. So start off with HQs.
Yep, we have 4 very unique characters. 3 of them actually uniquely named, and then the Watchmaster. So we'll start with Mr. Watchmaster.
Yep.
He's pretty much the same as he always used to be. He's movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2, strength and toughness 4. He's got 6 wounds. He's got 4 attacks. His leadership is 9, and his save is 2+. His save is 2+. You got a buff. Very nice.
That's a good save.
Yeah.
He got 4 up in Van.
Yeah, he's power level 7. He has the Angels of Death special, Iron Halo for a 4+ infon. He's a Watchmaster, so he gets to pick 1 unit within 6.
It's the chapter master.
Give them full reroll. Yeah. And then Rite of Battle for reroll 1s to hit. He is your general. He'll sit there giving auras buffs to hit.
And what sort of points is he?
He is 125 points.
Nice.
Equipment-wise, he's got the Vigil Spear, which is the big old stick he's got. 20 shooting range, it's a 24-inch range, rapid fire 1, strength 4, -1, 2 damage with special ammo.
It's the Guardian Spear.
Yeah, you can make that 4 damage though when you think about it with Vengeance rounds.
No,
and then
it's just +1 damage free.
Yeah, and in combat it's +1 strength, -3 damage D3.
Yeah, it's nice. 120.5 points is cheap considering if you look like. Well, no, I suppose if you were to take a bog standard captains, I think he's about 80 points, and then give it the 40-point chapter master upgrade.
Captains I've been taking have been about 130 to 140.
Well, my Smash Captain on bike is like 130. So then if I was to give him the chapter master ability, that's 40 points, so it'd be 170.
Yeah, so the Watchmaster is cheap for what you get. He's not the most murdery of characters.
No, but he's good. He's there to buff, isn't he? He's there to buff. He's there to give the rerolls, and then he's not bad though. He can still handle himself in combat. He can still chuck out a few wounds. So
yeah, and I think he does unlock maybe 2 stratagems. There's at least 1 he unlocks.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which you need a Watchmaster for. So he's a good pick to have and relatively inexpensive.
What's up next?
So next is Watch Captain Artemis, the model I have absolutely dozens of because he's in the starter set. So he is a Watch Captain effectively. He's movement 6, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2, strength toughness 4 with 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, and a 3+ armor.
Nice.
His bolter weapon is Hellfire Extremis.
Yeah.
Extremis, which has a bolt gun profile, which is just a regular bolt gun with special ammo.
Nice.
Or the Hell Flame profile, which is a 12-inch range, assault D6, strength 2, AP 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, it automatically hits the target. And unless the target is a vehicle or titanic, it automatically wounds on a 2+. So it's got a 2+ to wound flamer.
Very nice.
Very, very nice. He then has Mastercrafted Power Sword, so +1 strength, -3 damage, -3 AP, and 2 damage.
Yeah, really nice.
And then he's got his Stasis Grenades, which is why you take this guy, because throw a Stasis Grenade at someone. So it's a 6-inch range, and it's Grenade 1. When this weapon can only be used once per battle. Each time you make an attack with this weapon, if the successful hit is scored, the target suffers D6 mortal wounds.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, you just have D6 mortal wounds.
Yeah. So what else? What other abilities you got? Rites of Battle.
Rites of Battle for the reroll 1s. Unstoppable Champion. Each time this model loses a wound, roll D6. On a 6, the wound is not lost.
Nice.
And then he's got the Iron Halo for a 4+ save.
And has he got Rites of Battle? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Rites of Battle, so you get the reroll 1s.
Next guy
with him. Watch Captain Artemis will set you back. How many points is he? Watch Captain Artemis is 110 points. So
it's quite expensive.
For a captain, he's quite pricey.
Yeah.
We've got Chaplain Cassius.
Yeah.
Who is an OG chaplain. So movement 6, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 3, strength toughness 4, 4 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 10, save 3+. He's got a Deathwatch bolt pistol, which is a regular bolt pistol with special ammo. And then he's got the Artificer Crozius, which is +2 strength, -2 AP, 2 damage.
Nice.
So nothing special as of chaplain, basically. He's relatively standard. He's then got the Angel's Death, Spiritual Leader, which is an aura. When a friendly Deathwatch core unit within 6 of this models that can use his leadership, yeah. Fiery Conviction, it's another rule. Each time this model recites a litany, add 1 to the roll. Nice. See if it is inspiring.
2.
That's quite nice.
Do 2 or 1?
This model knows Litany of Hate and 1 other litany from the Litanies of Battles. In your command phase, if this model is on the battlefield, it can recite 1 litany that it knows and has not already been recited by a friendly model this turn.
Because he's basically a master, a chief. What they called? What's the chief? The chief guy.
Chief librarian. Chief chaplain. Chief chaplain. Let's go with that. I don't even know what's called.
Well, a chief chaplain. Master of Sanctity. That's what it's called. He's basically a Master of Sanctity for the Deathwatch, but he doesn't get 2 things, but he gets +1 instead. So he sort of gets the Warlord trait instead of getting the Master of Sanctity. It's a bit strange. Like they've done the same thing, I believe, with the Space Wolf one as well. But it's interesting. It's interesting. So, one HQ, is it just a captain?
The chaplain. He also has a 4-up in one. Just throwing it out there, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And he is Chaplain Cassius. He's 100 points.
Okay, that's not bad.
So he's like not unreasonably pointed.
Yeah.
Last character is a very annoying name. Codicinatorn.
Okay.
That's just you guys can read it yourselves. There he is. I think that's him.
Yeah, Naturian.
Yeah, that bloke.
Yeah.
So movement 6, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4 with 4 wounds, tax 3, leadership 9, save 3+.
Right.
Standard character level stats. He has a Deathwatch bolt pistol and duty revelation, which is his weapon. +1 strength, -4 AP, deal 3 damage. That's -4 is really nice.
Yeah.
Angel of Death special, Psychic Hood, and Battle Psyker. Each time this model attempts to manifest Smite or a Witchfire power, you can add 1 to the Psychic test.
Nice.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, so he's a librarian. Nice.
Yeah. Can manifest 2 psychic powers in your psychic phase. And attempt to deny 1. In those Smite and 2 powers from the Xenopage discipline.
So it might well be worth taking then.
Yeah, if you could ever name him.
Let's call him Nate Dog. It's Naturian Nate Dog.
And he is 100 points.
Yes, I think that's quite good.
So he's like 5 points more than what?
You're getting Psychic Hood, so you got +1 to cast, or +1 to deny, and +1 to cast if you're using Witchfire, which is quite a cool little thing because I saw they changed all of these abilities, so you're actually getting +1 to cast on specific psychic abilities.
Yeah,
specific psychic powers.
Yeah.
So what's up next? Next unit.
So that's all the HQs.
And obviously,
out of them,
Watch.
Yeah, out of them, the only one I'd take is the Watchmaster personally.
Yeah, fair enough.
So then we have one of my all-star unit of the Deathwatch, the Deathwatch Veteran.
Yeah.
So this model, a regular veteran, is movement 6, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, and a save 3+. The Watch Sergeant is the same stats, but he gets an additional attack and additional leadership. So he's 3 attacks, 9 leadership.
Standard.
And then you can take a Black Shield once per unit.
Yeah.
And they gain weapon skill 2+ and 3 attacks.
Nice.
So Black Shields are quite nice.
Yeah, veterans are just a solid unit, and they're good.
Well, the trick is it's a regular Space Marine tactical Marine with an extra attack and an extra leadership, and you can give it all the gubbins.
And they're basically Primaris. They're basically Primaris now. A veteran is basically a Primaris.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd ever take an Intercessor over a veteran. They're the same. They're 20 points at basic.
And I think that's probably, the only reason really now you're taking Intercessors in Deathwatch is to unlock
the kill team.
Yeah, the other things in the kill team. Really.
Yeah. But so the way you can just absolutely tool up these veterans is really, really cool. Like you could just have a veteran with a bolter, the Deathwatch bolter, so they could effectively be running around with special ammo and a power sword.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much, like, oh, it's a Space Marine with a power sword, but then you realise, actually, they're strength 5 with power swords, -3 1 damage, and they get 3 attacks each.
Or they can just have a Storm Shield, which probably can't have. With a session. Like,
it does make them a little bit expensive.
Yeah, but they become ultra durable, though.
I mean, I was looking at earlier, going, why would I take Blade Guard when I can have 10 veterans with Storm Shield and Power Swords?
Yeah.
I mean, the Blade Guard are only like 7 points more than that loadout. It's like 28 points for that loadout for a veteran.
Oh, really? Yeah, the Blade Guard have an extra wound. That's about it, isn't
it? Extra wound, extra attack, and their swords are 2 damage.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you can only take them in 5s. But a 10-man unit of veterans with Storm Shields isn't going anywhere quickly.
No.
Especially if you've got like Fortified Contempt on them to give them a 5-up Feel No Pain. They're tough. You get access to a few unique special weapons, like the Heavy Thunder Hammer.
Yeah.
Which is the times your strength -3, 4 damage.
Yeah.
Thunder Hammers, -1 to hit. The Deathwatch Frag Cannon, which has changed so much, it's unreal. So 12. It's got 2 fire variants.
Yeah.
One is like a flamer variant, so 12-inch range, assault 2d3, strength 6, -1 to hit, -1 AP, and 1 damage. So strength 6, -1, 1 damage, blast. It doesn't auto hit anymore.
Really?
Yeah, they got rid of the auto hit profile.
So it's no longer a flamer.
No, it's just a blast weapon that fires 2d3.
You used it as a flamer against me, didn't you?
I did. I cheated like hell. I mean, I got it wrong.
That's okay. We both didn't know at the time. I done the same thing with. I've done the same thing with loads of things with Space Marines, with Necrons, where it goes from one thing to the other, and it's something that you've already used, and you just assume that it's the same, and then you look back and you go, oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, I must say, like, thank you to all the guys who commented about Deathwatch on that game. It's opened my eyes a lot to what rules I'm getting wrong and improvements I can make.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a Deathwatch Frag Cannon has a second profile, which is the shell variant. So it's 24-inch range, assault 2, strength 7, -2, 2 damage. Now this got worse because it used to have a second profile that within 12 it becomes strength 9, -3, 2 damage. It lost that. So Frag Cannons lost a lot. They did go down to 15 points.
Still
losing your
still strength 7, -2, 2 damage. That's still strong.
That's still good. I'd still take that. And then there's the Infernus Heavy Bolter, which is pretty much it's either a heavy bolter or it's a heavy flamer. Pick one. It's a combi heavy flamer with a heavy bolter.
Wow.
So it's a heavy bolters, strength 3, heavy 3, strength 5, -1, 2 damage, or heavy flamer, D6 shots, strength 5, -1, 1.
And how much is that in comparison to the frag cannon?
The frag cannon.
Maybe it's the new frag cannon because you can take that instead of the frag.
Okay, Infernus Heavy Bolter. Let's have a quick look. Where are you? Infernus Heavy Bolter is 15 points.
So
it's the same as a frag. Yeah, it's the same as a frag cannon.
I'd probably be taking that then. Because then you've got the option of a flamer. So I'm gathering it's 12-inch range, heavy flamer, strength 5, -1 damage, and then you've got the heavy bolter option as well.
So the frag cannons variants are slightly better. Like the blast variant is 2d3 strength 6 -1/1 versus d6 strength 5 -1/1.
But you are auto hitting.
Yeah, with the strength 5s.
Yeah.
The frag cannon shell variant is better because it's one less shot, but it's strength 7 -2 versus strength 5 -1.
Yeah, true.
So both are very good.
They're good options. They're both good options. It's nice to have the option too, because you might want the flamers in there for any like Overwatch and that sort of thing.
You could also, you could give all these veterans lightning claws if you wanted. You could give them all Thunderhammer Storm Shield. You could just
yeah. It's such a versatile unit, aren't they?
Yeah, you can really you can make them whatever you want, to the point where I barely see the point in bringing intercessors unless you are more Primaris focused.
So what are we up to? What are we on to next? What's the next section?
So next is Kill Team Cassius. Now this is a funny kill team. It's a unique named kill team which came out in the Overkill box set with Gene Stealer Cult and Deathwatch.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
So it's a kill team that contains 4 veterans, a watch sergeant, 1 Terminator, 1 bike, and 2 Vanguard veterans. Yeah. And they are all uniquely armed. Like it's one Vanguard veteran with 2 lightning claws. The other one has a hand flamer and a chainsword. Yeah. The Terminator has a heavy flamer and a chain fist. The veterans all have different things.
Have a hawk. He's on the model.
Yeah. They're really nice models. I personally wouldn't use them because I don't own them.
Yeah. No, they're cool. But yeah, I'm not sure how good they are in game. Like it's just a mixed up kill team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of the Firstborn Marines.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Deathwatch Terminators. So I believe these are.
Why are these any different to normal Terminators?
So stats-wise, they're movement 5, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3, strength toughness 4, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, 2 plus save. So standard Terminator.
Yeah.
What I believe makes these guys
weapon options.
Yeah, what makes these guys different is you could go, okay, I'm going to have one with Stormbar and Power Fist, and then the next guy's going to have a pair of Lightning Claws, and then the next guy's going to have a Cyclone Missile Launcher, and the next guy's going to have a Thunder Hammer.
Oh yeah, that's one thing that they can do. They can take Cyclone Missile Launchers, yeah, and then you could, yeah.
So yeah, up to 3 Terminators can replace their Storm Bolters with one of the following: Assault Cannon, Heavy Flamer, Plasma Cannon, Storm Bolter, and Cyclone.
You can have this Terminator squad that's just like tooled up to the hind teeth, but you can have just so many different options and different ways to build them. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is like you throw them in your kill teams, and then you'll have like 2 with Storm Shields and then 2 with Assault Cannons.
Yeah.
So you can really mix it up.
Is that? Is there any more?
2 more units. We got the Veteran Bikers.
Yeah.
Who are a model I'm a little salty about because of special ammo.
But they are literally just Veteran Bikers out of the Space Marine book, aren't they?
Yeah, they're regular space bikers. Yeah. They've got 2 attacks, which is nice. You can give them chainswords. Unfortunately, they only have a twin bolt gun, not a Deathwatch twin bolt gun. So no special ammo.
Yeah.
And then
I can understand why you'd be upset about that. Because
you can
normal ones again. I mean, I'm not sure if that will be FAQ'd because it specifically says Deathwatch bolt gun, and the only person that's got a Deathwatch bolt gun is the guy out of the Kill Team Cassius.
Yes.
So
you can tool these guys up,
but the others don't.
Yeah, sorry. You can tool these guys up quite nicely, and you can have a veteran attack bike in the squad for multi-melter, which is quite nice. Like you can give them all power weapons, like power swords. Power axe, power maul.
And interestingly, actually, combat squad, yeah.
Yes, these do have the combat squad special rule.
So you can
take them into 6
combat squad, and then you've got a unit of 5 bikes running around their own.
Yeah, so unlike the Outriders. And then the last unit is one of the love it, hate it units of Deathwatch. I kind of like it. It's the Corvus Blackstar, our flyer.
Ah, yes. I think most people like. I mean, I love the look of the model. It's a great looking model, and I think once Primaris started coming out, everyone was just like,
can't use my Corvus.
You can't use the Corvus because you can't take Primaris in it and stuff like that. And it's one of those things that sometimes I don't know why they don't just say, yeah, this
Put
can
Primaris in it.
This can take, because like, what's it going to hurt? I don't understand. It's their only flyer, so just.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they take Primaris flyers now, but.
It did get since the Deathwatch Codex, it has had a good buff. The edition gave it a bit of a buff because it used to suffer from heavy penalty. Mm-hmm. So when the edition came in, the Corvus got better, and in this book, it's even better than it was. So movement-wise, it's 20 to 50, which degrades down to 40 to 30. Weapon skill 6, who cares? Bliss skill goes 3, 4, 5. Strength 8, toughness 7, 14 wounds. Attacks degrade. It starts with 3, D3, 1. Leadership 8, and then 3 plus save.
Yeah.
It's relatively. I mean, 14 wounds of toughness 7.
It's hard to hit.
Quite nice.
It's one to hit.
Yeah, it's got the standard like airborne, supersonic, hard to hit. It can hover.
Yeah, it can hover. Yeah.
So it becomes movement 20. It loses airborne, hard to hit, and supersonic.
Yeah.
It explodes. I love how it explodes. Explosions. On a 6, it's 6 inches D6. So it's a big explosion.
That is.
And then it's got the Black Star custom rocket launchers,
which I want to make it interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when it moves over a unit, roll a d6 for each model in that unit up to 10. On a 6, that unit takes a mortal wound.
Nice.
That's quite good.
Right.
Weapons-wise, it's got a reasonable amount. You can have a hurricane bolter on it. Mm-hmm. 2 Black Star rocket launchers, which are heavy 2d3, strength 5, -1, 1 damage blast.
Yeah.
And then a twin assault cannon. You can replace the twin assault cannon with a twin las cannon, and you can replace the Black Star rocket launchers with Storm Strike missile launchers, which are heavy 1, strength 8, -3, 3. I personally like the Black Stars over the Storm Strikes.
Yeah.
You can then give it either an Auspex array or an Infernum Halo launcher.
Yeah.
So the Auspex array got a big buff. These used to be reroll 1s against certain targets.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
But now it's each time the bearer makes a ranged attack, the target does not receive the benefit of cover.
Yeah, and what's the other one?
Infernum Halo launcher. Each time a ranged attack made by an aircraft model is allocated to the bearer, add 1 to the armor saving throws. So if another flyer shoots it gets an extra save.
It's basically like having flares. It's like a flare.
Yeah. So transport-wise, it can transport 12 models, bikes, and jump infantry and terminators. So jump infantry and terminators take up 2 slots, bike take up 3, and then. So it's such a good unit, and it will set you back 200 points fully equipped.
Nice. I think there's some really nice units. You know, obviously the Deathwatch veterans are the backbone, and and the Terminators and the Watchmaster's brilliant. I think there's some really, really nice units to choose from. Obviously, you've got the option of the Corvus there as well. So thanks for tuning in for the 3rd episode of the Deathwatch Supplement series. Thanks to Sam for coming on, and hope you liked it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay lucky.